buy this ridiculous hat. This only hat they had.
Oh, you got it from here?
I'm like, really? Alrighty, hey folks, Cartez here, Move Abroad and Thrive. Today I have Steph. She's been living here in Merida, for almost a year. When would it be a year?
It's going to be a year in June.
In June, yeah. So in June she'll be here a year. A lot of y'all have questions about living abroad, moving abroad, and so I figured let's talk to somebody who's actually here. So most of y'all posted some questions. I'm going to ask her a lot of these questions, and she's just going to share some of her experiences as someone who's been traveling abroad. So we talked a couple of days ago, and it's you've been all over the place. What are some of the places you've been to?
Well, I originally started off in Thailand, 2017, with my son and I. He was 13 at the time, and we were Vietnam, Malaysia, pretty much Southeast Asia for the most of my journey. In between Thailand and India is where I spent the most time.
Okay. Yeah. What was your favorite place so far?
I really love Vietnam.
Okay.
Vietnam and Sri Lanka. So good. Like, I would live in both of those places.
Wow.
If I could go back. Yeah.
So why Mexico? What prompted you to move here?
Mexico, well, I'm from Texas.
Okay.
So I grew up near, in Corpus Christi.
That's a beautiful place.
But I grew up close to the border, like in a smaller town called Bishop, Texas.
Okay.
So we kind of would spend some time near the border, and we grew up in Mexican culture. So I don't know, it was weird because I never came to Mexico I never thought about Mexico as an option.
Okay.
For some reason, I guess I let the media infiltrate my opinion about Mexico. I thought it was dangerous. I thought it was like, just like not good, like not livable.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, everyone's in the slums and living like just not so like comfortable. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't take the time to step outside of that ignorance to see or find out. But after I started traveling in Southeast Asia, I started to meet a bunch of expats.
Okay. And
these are like retired people or people that were working remote or just living abroad. And I started to realize and discover that a lot of people live in Mexico.
Wow.
Like millions of expats from Canada, Europe, and America, or US or whatever, they live in Mexico. They're retiring here. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, I want to retire. I want to retire early. Well, maybe Mexico might be an option. But yeah, coming, especially after COVID started, I didn't want to get stuck in the States.
In the United States?
Yeah, in the United States.
Really? So you were concerned about getting stuck there, but while other people are afraid of getting stuck abroad.
Yeah.
So what was going on there?
Well, I was living in Thailand in 2019, at the end of 2019. I ended up moving. I had planned to move to Melbourne, to Australia, with my partner at the time.
Black Australians?
No. He was not black. He was the whitest Australian.
Okay.
Yeah. So he and I we moved to Melbourne, and that was my plan to stay there for for life, basically. I wanted to get my residency in Australia. That didn't work out, so I ended up coming back to Texas in January 2020, at the start of the year. Right when I got to Texas, I actually went to Hong Kong. And right when I got home, my mom was like, did you know about this coronavirus or Wuhan, whatever they were calling it at first? And I was like, no, I was just there. I was just in China, in the area. And now I'm back home, and the people are getting sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was crazy because like my mom and sister, they were sick in November.
Ooh.
They think they already had corona before before they announced it.
Okay.
So I was back in home January in Texas, and they started locking down borders, and things were just really just odd and strange, and I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the U.S.
Okay.
It wasn't my plan to stay there. I just came home to kind of get myself together, get back to work remotely, and save some money. And Mexico was still open.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I'm going to Mexico. So in June, I just packed my bags and I came.
Ooh. So had you researched Merida before you came? How much thought did you put into it? Did you just wake up one day and say, this is the day I'm gone?
Well, it was great because some of the expats that I met in Thailand, they were living here for like 2 years.
Really?
There were a few. So because of them, I knew this was a good place.
Okay.
And they felt safe. They were all solo travelers. So I kind of used their experience as a reference.
Okay.
And then I looked on YouTube and found some other resources and just came.
Wow. Okay.
It was just easy, and I felt like, well, if it didn't work out, I could just go back home.
That's true. Right next, being next door to Texas and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was the same way when I started researching traveling. It was like Mexico was the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
But yet we're so close to it. But it's like, I don't want to go to Mexico, and I really didn't have a valid reason other than, like you were saying earlier, just listening to the news and just listening to how they describe Mexico and Mexicans in general. So since you've been here, how have you been treated? Latanya asks, are Mexicans accepting of expats? What's been your experience dealing with the Mexican people?
Well, specifically in the Yucatan, I find that they're very warm and welcoming. Okay. And I've been treated with respect. Like everyone, I don't know if I blend in, but no one's staring at me. I don't feel uncomfortable. I go about my business. Me being here doesn't disrupt them. Yeah. They're just doing their thing. People come up to me, they ask me, do I need help with anything? They offer like assistance. And they come and talk to me, and they just want to know who I am and where I'm from. So I feel pretty much at home. I like the people here. I'm made a few friends so far that are locals. Like my neighbors are really nice. Like people are just family oriented, and they treat you like family.
Okay. And that's been my experience as well. I've only been here now for about a week, maybe 9 days, I think, as of now. And I mentioned this to you yesterday. I'm like, there's not a lot of black people here, but I find it strange that nobody here even they don't even do a double take. It's like they are already used to seeing you. They're not staring at you. They're not looking at you all strange. And my experiences have been the same as yours. Yeah. People have just been so friendly, very warm, very accepting. Curious about where you're from, and want to know why you decided to come here. But yeah, I agree. The folks here, nice. Man, they just roll out the red carpet. Yeah. They always ask because they're not sure if you're American. Do you speak English or French?
Oh, they say French.
They say French. And so I need to learn some French words to try to throw them off.
I wonder where they think you're from.
I have maybe some parts of.
Like the Caribbean somewhere?
I can't remember. There's some parts of, I can't remember this country, but they speak French. There's a lot of black folks there that speak French. I can't remember the name of it.
Haiti?
That's possibly one.
Yeah.
I don't know where. The next time
you could location. You look like you could be from like Caribbean, like Jamaican or something. Is your family Jamaican?
Nah, we straight from Mississippi.
Well, maybe your roots, somebody in your family line. Yeah, because if I don't know where they think I'm from, but I think they all automatically assume I speak Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, they just start talking to me. And I try to pretend like I know. I try, but like my Spanish is still not up to like, it's not fluent, but I'm starting to understand a lot more. It makes it easier when you live here to be able to kind of have that immersive experience, and it does help with the language because I took Spanish in high school, and then in junior high. Okay. I took it in 7th and 8th grade, but it did give me a foundation for like the basics. But now just the conversational Spanish is starting to. I think it's improved since I started, since I came here. Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you that Spanish I took in high school, man, that thing it didn't help me out, but I think I got a D, like a D as in dog, D plus, So it didn't help me out much at all.
Yeah, I wasn't the best student, but I remember a lot of the stuff now. Like,
really?
It started to kick back in. My dad was right. He said, you better learn Spanish because everybody's going to be speaking Spanish pretty soon. So you need to be, you need to be prepared. And I really grateful that he made me take those classes. I didn't study. I didn't really take it serious, but it helped. So
it helped.
Yeah, but my advice is, if you know that you want to come to Mexico, you should start trying to take some type of Spanish lessons on, like, if you go on YouTube, they have the ones where you can sleep and listen to it at night.
That work? You tried it?
I think so. I think it gives you like subliminal programming. Okay. That's a good way just to kind of absorb it. Yeah. And then I use. I'm
gonna try that.
Try that. It's like 8 hours of Spanish words. There's Pimsleur. Pimsleur is like an app. I think the government uses it to train their employees to learn any language in like 6 weeks or something like that. Okay. I don't know. I could be wrong about the time, but I've learned a lot of nice like conversational phrases that help me to know like what to say, and also how to be prepared on like how to respond. So it's a good way to have a good conversation with people. But it's a good app, and it's I pay like $20 a month for it. Okay. But I think it's free. They might have a free version.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Try to learn some Spanish before you come.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
That. Yeah, I think so. Compared to Colombia, very few people spoke English there. I do find a lot more people here speak English. Okay. It kind of helps, at least for me. It's like, okay, compared to being in Colombia, it's like I'm on some training wheels. Here, I can practice my Spanish, I can learn my Spanish, but if I get in a bind, there's generally someone around who can help a little bit. Yeah. They might not speak English fluently, but it's enough to get by.
Somebody can help.
And
the translator seems to work okay. The phone, I use my phone. Google Translate is like clutch, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. No entiendo. I'm like, I don't understand you. I'm sorry. But they're pretty patient though. Yeah. Like they don't get upset if you don't. But I don't expect for anyone to speak English to me. Exactly. But they actually want to practice.
They do.
So I think it's nice either way. Like,
and they're excited. These folks, I'm going to tell you, they excited to practice. I was in a restaurant yesterday and I was talking to Steph. I was like, this dude keeps coming back to my table, making excuses to come so he can practice his English. And he was over the top. He just excited and happy. He came to my table probably about 15 times just so he can get his practice on. And I said, man, your English is perfect. Dang. And he was the happiest man. He ran away from that table all proud and happy.
That's probably going to be a good thing for him.
Exactly.
Because it might be useful for them, like, to know, like, if they speak English, they might be able to get an increase at work or something, or get a higher up, position somewhere. It's useful. But it's also good for us. Like, we can exchange.
Exactly.
And it is good culturally for us to embed ourselves here and not just sit on top of the culture like some of the other expats that come here. We come here to exchange and have an even, balanced relationship with the local people.
I agree.
So for the long term, I could see the relationship between Black expats and the Mexicans here, like a generational, like we're building something for future generations by establishing a good relationship and
awesome.
exchanging each other's culture and ideas and communicating, so
absolutely,
I'm happy for that.
Awesome. So Mr. HD, Mr. Rock asks, are there any cartel issues that you've heard about or run into?
I haven't heard so much about the cartel. I heard, from what I know, this is more of like a neutral zone for all of the cartel families. Historically, Merida is like the vacation spot for the cartel families. Like they all can come here and live here safely, and there's no like war or crime committed against each other's families. So they kind of have like, this is like their neutral spot. So the police presence is very strong here. Okay. The cops, they have those big AK-47.
I've seen them.
They don't play. They patrol. And I think that keeps a lot of that stuff, that cartel activity down. Like there's nothing that I've seen. I feel safe. Like this is actually the second safest city in North America.
Okay.
There's the first safest cities in Canada somewhere. I don't even know the name. So with that being said, I think that's because the police presence is really strong. But the police are pretty much doing their job. Like, in the U.S., they do whatever they want. But here they actually help the citizens and like patrol and make sure they keep the crime low. So I don't think I've seen too much cartel activity. And if it is going on, I don't know. I don't get involved. I don't have no cartel activity business needed. Like y'all do what y'all do. I'm over here. So I try to mind my business.
Oh yeah. And I'm like you. I felt, again, I've only been here 9 days. She's been here almost a year. Yeah. But in the 9 days that I've been here, I've felt very, very comfortable. As Steph has mentioned, the police are very helpful. I've approached them many a times, just asking for directions, asking for help, or sometimes they'll see me looking confused and will come over and ask if I need anything. Most of the time they hear me using my GPS, giving me directions. Where are you trying to go? Hey amigo, where are you trying to get to?
That's cool though. It's reassuring. I was intimidated by those guns.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
But they have good intentions. They're not, ready to draw weapons when they see a black person. So that's very comforting. Like just to know that my blackness is not going to be a crime automatically. The cops are actually there to help. So if you need help, you can actually call them for something. They're not going to come shoot you, kick the door in, all that crazy stuff from the U.S. But I like it here. I haven't seen any cartel activity or anything suspicious. Yeah. Like I know for me as a single woman traveling and living by myself, my main priority is safety. Yeah. Like I can't live anywhere that I'm gonna be worried about getting kidnapped. Especially being a black woman. Like we're pretty much like a high commodity when it comes to living anywhere. We kind of get targeted for certain type of that kind of shady behavior in business. So here, no, the men are very respectful because I've lived in Asia. When I would go to Malaysia or like India, the men would be like, like they
cat call.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate because in those countries, like the African women who are like migrating to those places, unfortunately, a lot of them have worked in like this, they're doing sex work or human trafficking. So it's unfortunate because that's what the men see when they see African women or black women. They automatically associate us with sex. So it's it's uncomfortable to go there and you're just traveling, minding your business, and men bother you like that. But here, no one does that. Like it's so nice. Yeah. I go out, the men they'll speak to me, but they'll be respectful. They don't just be like, or looking at me uncomfortably or kind of staring or anything. So for like me to be a single woman here, I've never felt out of place or uncomfortable by the men or. Like I needed to guard myself. I mean, I'm not gonna just drop my defenses and walk around all willy-nilly like everything's all great. I still think you should watch your surroundings wherever you go. But Yeah, and lock your door, and, you know, those type of things. But, you know, for the most part, it's pretty laid back.
Good. Okay. Yeah, somebody asked about that. Let's see. JD Rivers asked, does she feel safe? And did she know Spanish before she went? And how does she feel? And how do you feel Mexico is handling COVID? Any concerns about COVID?
No, the Yucatan specifically has been handling it pretty well. I feel like they've been very strict for the most part. They had a lot of lockdown rules in place. Like they had the curfew from 5, it was from like 11:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day. But because people actually followed those rules, they lifted the curfew. So there's no more curfew. And I think the numbers have gone down significantly. So I think that's giving the Yucatan kind of like a leg up. I think they were going by like color coding at one point. Okay. So it was like orange for some time. But I think we're starting to move up to like greenish somehow. I don't even know, like. But I think they handled it pretty well. Most stores you go into, you still got to do your temperature checks. Yeah. Sanitate. You know, they want to put, you know, the sanitizer in your hands. If you go shopping if you go to like Walmart or something, only one family member can go in. No kids allowed in some stores. And that's cool. Like, I like that they're keeping it still like that even now. And now 100% of the businesses have opened back up. Wow. So, and I think it's like at a full capacity. So I think because the vaccine rolled out that they're kind of falling back on some of those tight restrictions. So I think they handled it pretty well compared to Cancun and
Wild West out there.
It's like, what's COVID? Where? Not here. Like, come on down, Americans.
Come on down.
Come on, U.S. citizens. No.
And that's been my experience as well. I was talking to my mom about it the other day. I'm like, every store you go into, they're checking your temperature. If you got a fever, you ain't coming in.
You gotta have your mask.
You gotta have your mask.
You have to have your mask.
Gotta wash your hands.
They were fining people if you didn't have your mask on. So that's why people kept their mask around. Wow. Like, you know, you go to Cancun, the foreigners come. They don't wear masks. They're just, they want. Yeah. But here, if you don't wear a mask, you get a fine. I don't even know how much it costs, like 500 pesos or something like that.
God.
But
so they busted them upside the head.
Yeah, you're getting fined. And if one of those cops with the AK-47 comes up to you and you don't have a mask on, you probably want to put your mask on. So yeah, they handle it pretty well, but they're pretty strict here. A lot of people weren't happy with how strict they were. So some of the expats I will follow on like different platforms. They ended up leaving because it just was too strict, you know. And I understood that, but I respect it. I follow the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you working? This is from Julie Mung. Is she working remotely, and is the internet reliable?
Yeah, I work freelance. I've been working freelance for years now, just remote, and for U.S. companies and clients. So the internet is very stable. There's so many different internet providers here. So if you decide to come, you have many options depending on what area you're in. Okay. But this area is pretty stable.
Good. I know last time we talked, you talked about some of the different ways people can earn money working remotely, different, I guess, job boards that they can search for jobs, so that they can make U.S. dollars, bring their equipment. I guess some people do customer service, some people do data entry. The company sends them, I guess, some equipment to hook up to the internet, and I guess they can bring that equipment here and use it. Would it still work?
That's a great question. Now, I wouldn't know about, like, because I had worked in customer support jobs where they provided me with like an iMac, like a big, the big
screen.
Yeah, so I did that for a couple of months many years ago. I wouldn't bring that. I don't know. Some companies, it just depends on the company, because some companies have restrictions on if you can only work in Texas or Florida, but if you live in California, you can't work for them. Or if you move, then it just their location restrictions. I don't know. It just depends on the company. You would have to talk to the company if you work for them already. For me, I like to use job boards like Upwork.com because there are no restrictions, like location-wise, as far as that's concerned. I do advise to use a VPN. I use Windscribe. Windscribe is really great because you can put it to whatever location you want to appear on the IP address. So I keep it like that just to protect my information anyway. But yeah, VPNs are highly suggested no matter where you go. So I think there's a lot of remote opportunities, a lot of remote resources. One other way I like to do is go on YouTube. There are a lot of women that I follow. They provide resources for remote jobs. You can just Google, you can go on YouTube and type in remote work, and you'll get a whole bunch of people, influencers that share resources on where to go. And that's a really easy one to look for. Like, that's just like the perfect way.
What are some examples of remote work that one could do? Just a couple of examples.
Well, I know a lot of people do English teacher. There's a lot of English teacher. They teach like Chinese students or Asian students. That one's pretty popular. I don't really know too many brands off the top of my head. But I think there's like VIP Kid or something like that. I don't know. That you can, if you just type in like teach English jobs or something remote, you'll find a bunch of places to hire. And then there's, but that's a big one for a lot of. That's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. And then I do virtual assistant work, freelance work. So I just do like customer service, just office type remote stuff that I can help with clients and things like that, whatever they need me to do. So I do that. Customer service is really good. A lot of call center type jobs you can find. And now with COVID, I think a lot of companies are virtual now. So I think it's just normal. Like before, it wasn't like so easy to find remote work. It wasn't normal for mostly companies were, you go drive into the office. But now it's pretty standard. So I think people shouldn't have as much trouble to find the opportunities. But Upwork is my favorite. I like to share that one.
Okay. Awesome. Great advice. What would you say, how much money would you say, with the cost of living in Mexico, how much money would a person need, you think? Say one person, a single man, single woman, or a couple. What would they need to have to just be comfortable? I guess just some ideas of what some of the rents are like, food, restaurants. What does that look like in your opinion?
Well, that's a great question. I think, for example, Merida, I want to say it's affordable, but there is a misconception that Mexico is cheap. Okay, so that's one thing I definitely learned the hard way. Not the hard way, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, it's affordable and it's not cheap. I took that word cheap out of my mind because you can spend a lot of money when you're here. It's affordable. It's much lower than the U.S. But if you I'm happy because I get to upgrade my quality of things, But if you go shopping, for example, if you go to the mall, like H&M still costs pretty much the same that it would. It's just in pesos. Rent, you can find really, I think rent is probably the most affordable, lowest cost thing compared to the US that you're going to find here. Like my first house that I rented was like probably like $350 US for a 2-bedroom townhome, fully furnished. And yeah, like and you can find rents is even lower than that, you know, depending on how. For me, it's just one person, but you know, if you have a family, that can vary. I have friends that have 3 kids, married couple, and they're. He was telling me he wanted to keep his bills underneath maybe like $1,500 a month for everything, for food, rent. And they eat a lot, so
and 3 kids.
And I think if you shop at like local markets, then you're definitely gonna save less. I mean, no, save more. Sorry, you're gonna save more. But me, of course, I'm shopping over at like the Mexican Whole Food and ordering the takeout. You know, that stuff kind of adds up.
Eating good.
Like today, I'm ordering PF Chang's, and I'm like, how much money did I just spend? The delivery man's on his way right now, and you can mix it up a little bit. Like for me, I'm trying to keep my bills under $1,000 a month for everything, if I can. And if I go over it, it's usually because of food, or if I want to do something extra, like you know, go on a tour somewhere, or maybe take a trip to Tulum. You know, then that's extra money I'm gonna spend. But my base cost is less than like, I want to say an average of like $1,000 to $1,200 per month for everything.
And that includes transportation, the Uber ride, eating out on occasion.
All the time eating out. My food bill is expensive. So I've kind of streamlined a lot of stuff and cut back on things. Mainly because my diet, I don't need to like work out and reduce. But you can live pretty comfortably if for a single person. I can't speak for the family since I'm by myself at this point. But I think you can get away with not more than like $1,500, $2,000 at the kind of a minimum starting point, depending on what kind of place you find to rent and your food expenses.
Exactly.
Transportation is pretty inexpensive through Uber. You're not going to spend more than like $3 to $5 at the most for when you like, depending on if you're going back and forth. I typically don't take Uber as much. I'm here most of the time during the week working. On the weekend, if I do take Uber, it's like from my house in the north to Central, it's probably like $5 for one way at the most. So it can be expensive if you're doing it a lot. You know, everything adds up. But it's pretty affordable. It's not too much.
I'm shocked sometimes. You know, every time I hear this costs 300 pesos or 800 pesos or that, and I'm like, I'm just envisioning this big bill. But then when I get home and look at my bank statement, you know, I'll see the charges going down the page, $3, $8, $7. I'm like, I just thought it was like a fortune. You know, those numbers, they still shock me, you know, and I'm like, wow, I just can't believe I was able to enjoy that meal at that price. So I've had some good deals. Just eating out. My girls will be here in a few weeks, and you know, you mentioned that $350 a month apartment with 2 bedrooms, and you know, 4 people can live in that. You know, the couple, the husband and the wife, and then the 2 kids sharing the room. So I mean, that's a whole family living in a spot for $350 a month.
You can get a lot of, like, basically you can get a lot of bang for your buck here. Like the whole point for me is to go where you can get the most value for your US dollar. Like, why be in the US struggling to pay bills and not have no money left over? Literally. I remember at one point I would have $20 left over for my whole check. And it was so hard raising with my son at the time and trying to balance everything. And when I finally got out of there and went to Thailand, I saw how inexpensive, like I saw the big cost savings. And I'm like, if I can make US dollars, I didn't even have to work that much. I could work part-time online, making not even $1,000, like a month. I could just work as little as I wanted to online and still have enough money just to save. I could save money in my account. And I was like, wow, this is great.
That is good. Thriving, you know what I mean? You
Saving,
have money left over and you can save.
You can pay your debts off. I think that is my biggest advice for people is to consider it, not even just Mexico. If you have the option to move somewhere else, you can definitely get remote work.
Yeah.
And it's called geo arbitrage.
Okay.
When you take your money from your country and you go somewhere that has a lower cost of living, and that's money you can save. That's a big savings right there. That is my main objective while I'm here. Saving and just paying off some debt. And now at this point I'm starting to open my own business here in Merida, so I'm excited about that. And it's so the cost, like the overhead cost for me to rent a place here, just a storefront, I'm paying 5,000 pesos a month. That's
about
like
what?
$200 something dollars.
God. And she showed me her storefront. I looked at a video, and that place is huge.
I think the guy's here.
Oh, okay. So she's going to grab the food real quick.
I'll be back.
I'm going to make sure this thing is still recording, because I was running out of memory. Yep. Yeah, so she ordered some food so we can chow down. But yeah, it was a big place, man, her office space. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about what she's going to be doing with her new business. But, so if you have an idea, you want to start a business, again, if you're cutting expenses and cutting costs, you can move to a country where, like she was saying, the cost of living is much lower, and you can use your U.S. dollar, the strength of the dollar, and get more. If your business is only making $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month, there was a young lady that I knew. I think she was starting a health coach business, and I believe the business was making about $1,500 a month. It wasn't enough for her to quit her job in the U.S., but when she went to Colombia, that $1,500 was plenty enough for her to quit her job, and she was able to go and just work more on the business full time instead of working on the business part time in the U.S. So lots of options. So she's going to talk about her new business model that she's going to be setting up, and she's back. That's a big old bag. We got a lot of food up in this camp.
Like they give you a grocery bag. Well, that's the good thing of the servings here. They give you big portions.
They do.
So the food that you do eat, like if you order takeout or something, you're gonna eat it for like 2 days.
That's
so you
true.
can feed a whole family for a good price here, I think.
Yeah, you can. And they eat a lot of meat. So for y'all who into that keto diet, man, it's a perfect place. You get all the meat you want.
Yeah.
So what kind of business are you opening up?
Well, I'm going to be opening a wellness studio.
Okay. Perfect place for that.
Yeah. The name is called Self-Care Studio.
Oh, I like it.
So I'm excited. So in order to open a business in Mexico, you have to register your business like a LLC.
Okay.
Or, so I have my attorney helping me with that. And it's a fee. I pay him the fee, and he registers, and that's how I'll be registered to pay my taxes in here in Mexico.
Pretty simple process, pretty quick.
He's doing all the work.
Okay, that's good.
It's pretty straightforward, I think. He'll handle all the paperwork and stuff, and then I will pay him the money, and voila.
Okay.
He's good like that, so they make it real easy.
Well, I ask you this because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow for 300 pesos, which I think is like $15 to see the doctor. So is this attorney charging you like $350 per hour for his services.
No, he's mostly charging the fee that, like, there's the fee for the actual processing, and then his fee on top of that. I would say I'm not paying more than like $1,000 for everything for the US dollars.
Okay.
For the whole setup, including his fee. So that registers me to open as many businesses as I want under that umbrella.
Okay.
So I'm excited. Like, I think, I don't know, because I've had opened an LLC in the U.S. before, and it's expensive.
Yeah, those attorneys are expensive.
It adds up, yeah.
You know you're set up right, structured properly, and you know, paying your taxes and all of that stuff. You're covered.
Yeah, and it's just a one-time fee. It's not like I gotta pay like registration for every business after that. Okay. So I can, like he said, I can just open as many as I want.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
I'm about to open up. Which leads to my next question. Well, not my question, but Valletta asked if you are here on a tourist visa or did you get a temporary visa. What are there any income requirements for getting a temporary visa?
Well, I'm on the temporary visa. It's good for 1 year. I applied in the U.S. in New Orleans. Okay. So I went to the Mexico consulate in New Orleans, and I started my process there. Okay. I forget how much I can't remember how much it is for the requirements. Excuse me, because I think it changes over time, and it's different at every consulate in the U.S. So it's better for you to. The better ones or everyone says to go to is Atlanta, Vegas, and New Orleans. Those are like the main ones that are just easy to get your stuff processed there. So you can go on their websites and check the balance or the income requirements because they change. Okay. Yeah.
How long did it take to, once you started the paperwork? Was it a long process or anything? Difficult process?
No, it was really easy. So you make an appointment with the online with that office. Okay. So I drove to New Orleans and had my appointment. I brought my bank statements. Okay. I brought my bank statements. What else did I do? Oh yeah, and the bank statements, they need to be signed by your bank and sealed by the bank. So any documents you bring, they need to be sealed or like signed, like original documents. And just bring your paperwork, and all the information's on the site with the application and stuff. It was really fast. They just look at the paperwork. They make sure you make the money. They want to see the amount that's being deposited into your bank account or your statements and stuff. And then they give you like a temporary visa. Okay. So they put in your passport. When you get to Mexico, you have about, I forget how long you have to go to Mexico after that. There's like a time period from the time that you get the visa in the U.S. or whatever consulate that you go to, then you have to travel to Mexico. When you get to Mexico, you have to process your paperwork there. You get 30 days. So when you get to the airport, they give you a 30-day stamp to say you got to get this. You only have 30 days here to get this paperwork in. So once your paperwork gets turned into the immigration office, then you're okay to be here until they process everything.
Gotcha.
So you just make sure you do it, put it in within that 30-day period, or you have to leave the country and start the whole process again.
Okay, so once you get the paperwork done and everything processed, that visa is now good for a year.
Yeah, so once you get your paperwork in, my attorney did all of it for me. Again, I love my attorney. So anyone that is looking for that attorney when they come here, I'm happy to share his information.
I'm mad.
He's awesome. So once he got the paperwork in, I went to the immigration office. I did my interview with them, and it really wasn't even an interview. The lady just looked at my paperwork. I took my photo. They give you a temporary residency card. It's like an ID. and that's good for a year. And then after the year, you can extend your visa for up to 3 more years.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Like you can do 1 more year, 2 or 3. And then after the 4th year, then you have to apply for permanent residency.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned something about getting discounts on I can't remember which visa that was.
On both, you get on the temporary and the permanent. You get you get discount. I think I know you get more discounts with the permanent for sure. With the temporary, I don't know all the discounts because I didn't even know you get discounts. But when I went to the pyramids, Chichen Itza, I got in free because I showed them my ID card, and they were like, "Oh, you don't pay. They're like, you're Mexican." I was like, "Okay, I made it." So I thought that was really cool. So now I need to actually go and investigate what other discounts can I get?
All kind of free perks up in there.
I think when you're permanent though, you get to get discounts when you travel.
Really?
Yeah, there's some perks. There's a lot of good perks in there.
Man, Mexico treating us good out here, man.
If you have a baby in Mexico, you automatically get a permanent residency. I talked to an expat lady and her family the other day. She just had a baby here. Baby's like 6 months old. They had been living here for 3 years. They had the baby, and the baby automatically becomes a Mexican citizen.
God. And the parents get permanent residency.
Yep. They make it so easy for us, but obviously it's not that easy.
Make it difficult for them.
Oh my God, man. It's so ironic. It's like y'all come over here and have all the kids and do whatever you want. Ooh. Open business, buy land.
I got 5 kids. I don't know if that's gonna be an option. I don't know if I want any more.
Yeah, I think I'm done too, but I like the idea of it though. It's like, had I known that, I would have came here.
Strategically planned this thing.
I would have came over here.
Let me making sure I got all these questions answered. Any advice that you would give to anybody who's considering moving abroad? A lot of people are fearful, nervous, don't know what to do, but anything they shouldn't be doing if they wake up one day and decide, I'm leaving, I'm traveling abroad. Any advice for these people?
Well, I learned the hard way that many times. I would say, don't quit your job. If you can find a way to keep your current job and make it remote. Okay. Sometimes it's just a simple conversation with your manager and say, hey, I want to work remote. Is that okay? Sometimes they will say, yeah. And now with COVID and everything, most companies are already working remote if you depending on where you work. I quit my job. Before you left the country? I just quit. I had a good job too. I was working in oil and gas and working IT as a system administrator, and I was making money. And I just wanted to quit. I was like, I'm traveling. I'm living the lifestyle of the expat vacation travel life, and I did that without really having any other income streams. I thought it would just be a matter of me getting there and things would just fall in place. But when you're traveling and you got a kid and it's not the same because you're not stable in one spot. You're all over the place. I can attest. It's very stressful, and it can be hectic if you're not already you're not thinking about that when you're in it. You're thinking about where am I going to stay? Where are we going next? This visa's about to expire. It was a lot. So my advice is just to make sure you have income stream set up already. Okay. Get that set up ASAP. And I think remote work is just the future. You need to be, even if you don't plan to come anywhere outside of the States or leave, it's just nice to have remote. I don't think a job should be location dependent. Okay. I like you that. Should be free to, you should always be ready to move. You should always be in a position where you can move if you wanted to. Okay. So your job shouldn't have any strings or to keep you stuck in one spot. So I learned that a long time ago. And I would say if you're looking for information about you considering to move abroad or live somewhere else, it's good to have like YouTube and like social media as like a reference guide.
Okay.
You're looking at other YouTubers or influencers to see what they're doing. Like even after you watch this video and you see like, oh, Steph did it, I'm gonna do it too. I would just say we different. Like everyone's living different lifestyles. Yeah. Everyone's on different budgets. Everyone has different needs. I like to give my advice and share my story, but I also like to tell people, do what serves you best.
Absolutely.
Like do what you can afford, and don't try to live above your means. Even when you come to a country that's even if I can live and afford this extravagant lifestyle here, I still remind myself like I'm here to save money. Yeah. I'm not here to impress anybody. And I'm still living really well compared to like before,
right. Right.
You can live really nice, but you can also save money, and like looking at other people's videos and stuff is only just a guide, like a reference point.
Yeah.
But until you actually come and move, and I wouldn't even say move, like to kind of get that out of the mindset of move. The mindset should be to explore.
Okay.
To think, let me go and see. Let me go and find out. Let me visit. I would always say, like, try to visit and see. And when you visit, stay in Airbnb for a few weeks.
Yep.
At least 2 weeks is enough time to kind of decide if you like a place or not. A month is great, because it gives you time to feel like you live there.
Okay.
You can kind of develop a routine, kind of know the neighborhood a little bit more. And even when I first came here, I lived in many different places. I lived in a few Airbnbs all around town, just so I can get an idea of what area suited me the best.
Yeah. And
that was a good experience, and I would tell people to do that, because sometimes you come and you see nice places, you're like, oh, I'm going to sign a lease. That's great too. Like if you already know like you want to do that, then go for it, because it's really abundance. There's an abundance of rentals here.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many rentals, like, and because you're going through it right now.
Lots.
Many rentals, so many amazing real estate agents that can help you. So yeah, I would just say if you're not sure, just come, spend a little time, and even though I like Merida a lot, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's hot.
It's hot.
And when we say hot, it's like the hottest place in the earth at one point.
Hell hot.
Like last month, this was the hottest place in the earth. Ooh. And I was looking on the map, like it was like bright red, orange, and the rest of the world was like, like cool blue, and I was like, wait, we're the hottest place on the earth.
What was that temperature like?
I don't know. It was hot. It was like 114. And it was like that for a week. But Merida is hot.
It's hot.
But I'm saying it's not for everybody. And also for like people who are single that are looking for more of a nightlife or want to date, their dating scene. I don't know if Merida is for that.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know. It could be whatever you want it to be. But for me personally, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as a home base. Yeah. Kind of as an office. I'm just here to, get my money together, chill. Yeah. And if you want to party, I go to like Playa or go to Tulum or something. But we're in a pandemic, so that's not really like
too much partying ain't happening anyway.
That's not right priority, but. It's not for everyone, but the great thing is Mexico has many different cities.
Exactly.
You can come spend some time. I know people that spend time in different cities since they've been here. A month here, a few weeks there, and then they decide where they want to stay, permanently or for X amount of time. So I think it's good just to give yourself a realistic expectation. Yeah. Don't set the bar too high. Just come. Right. See what you see, explore, feel how you feel, and travel and, go to different places and see what works out best for you. But it's nice to have the reference points with the Facebook groups. There's a really good Facebook group too to join if you're interested in coming to Merida specifically. It's called Brothers and Sisters of Merida. Really nice group of people. So that's a really good kind of starting point. And they offer a lot of information for family events, meetups between like the moms and the ladies, and just group activities and stuff, and everyone refers different businesses and information, so it's a really good system. And I like that group the most because they have a list, so it's like a kind of like a safety list, like so if you come to town, it's like you're by yourself. I'm by myself, so it's like I give them my information, like this is my contact for my family members in case something happens. So that's really nice to have, because when you're by yourself, it's like, I have a few friends here, but we're all kind of quarantined by ourselves at home. Anything could happen. And if something were to happen, my family knows, like they know that the people in the group know to reach out to my family and say, well, we spoke to her this time, or, so it's nice to have that safety, especially if you're by yourself. And that's pretty much my tips. Like, just check it out for yourself, and don't stress about it, but be prepared.
Be prepared.
Don't quit your day job. Have your money coming somehow.
Have your money coming in.
Yeah.
I like the part where you said, don't necessarily look at what other people are doing online. You have to know what your plan is and what your goals are. I know when I first started traveling about 40 days ago, I was bouncing around all over the place, really trying to find the ideal place or where I wanted to stay. And, it looks fun, but man, I was tired, I was stressed. I just wanted to stay in one place. My personality is not to jump around. Well, my personality is to jump around, but not jump around that frequently and that quick. Ideally, I would have preferred to be able to stay, if I was going to do that kind of hopping around, probably stay in each spot for 4 to 6 months at a time and then go somewhere. But it wasn't fun. Some of those places I got to, I liked. Some places I didn't. And honestly, I wasn't coming to Mexico on this trip. The quarantines in Colombia forced that to happen, but I'm glad it did. I mean, God worked that out, because I wasn't coming on this initial trip. I was going to catch it next go around when I came back from the States. But man, I'm totally excited to be here. I'm working with a real estate agent now that Steph referred me to. Great lady, showing me around, showing me some properties, and I'm just glad now that I get to sit still and just focus. I have some goals and a plan of some things I'm trying to work on, and so for the next 12 months, that's what I'm going to be doing. And again, I'm not a party guy. I don't like hanging out at 4 a.m, drinking, smoking.
In Colombia.
You know what I'm saying?
Get your drink spiked.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not my personality. I like to be laid back. I have 2 girls that'll be staying with me a couple of times out the month, and I just wanted a safe place that's stable and safe and good for them to thrive in, and they can learn some Spanish and have some fun. One of my daughters, both of them like ice skating, and they had this big mall here, Gallerias, with a huge ice skating rink. I was in there today and saw that they offered ice skating lessons. So I was excited to find that out, so I could get the girls involved. So again, what are your goals? What are the things you wanting to do? What plan? You come up with a game plan, and as Steph said, use the resources that you find online to help you cement that plan, and you too can get out there, move abroad, and thrive. So, any last minutes? Anything else on the top of your mind that you can think of?
I think, what you just said was perfect. There are a lot of different resources for Mexico. A lot of expat resources, a lot of expat groups for each city. So I think it's good. Like, it's a good starting point if you just need to get information. Join those groups. Visit the YouTube and look for remote jobs. Try to get remote first and keep your money coming no matter what. So, but Mexico's good. I like it here, and I'm definitely happy to be here. And try to stay as long as I can.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good place for us. I think most of the people I've talked to here feel safe.
Yeah,
if you can bring your kids here, you can live here.
Absolutely.
It's very good. It's family oriented too. The people are very friendly, and here in Merida specifically, it's a really great place for families.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of family events. Like you said, the skating rink.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. There's the beach, Progresso's just nearby.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff to do here,
Yeah. It's so much. And once you, like she said, Mexico's huge. And, once you find that main place you want to live in, the airline flights are very cheap once you get into the country. You can fly. If you like to party, you take off to Mexico City or some of the other towns and
take the bus.
Take the bus.
Yeah, they have the 80 bus. It's like a luxury bus line.
Ooh.
But it's very comfortable. It's like $15 from here, from Merida to go to like Cancun or Tulum. It's like 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. $15.
Luxury bus.
Just nice. Like TV, they play movies, air conditioning, they got a bathroom. And they try to do the safety distancing. But I think they keep it really pretty clean.
Awesome.
So I've taken the bus a few times so far.
Okay. And good experience. Just very, very
just
comfortable.
Easy. Okay. You just go to the bus stop, get on the bus. You can buy the tickets on their app.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Before I go, quality of life is just great. She was telling me how she orders everything, food, groceries, and she even told me that you ordered a COVID test. You didn't have. They come to you
on WhatsApp. So here in Mexico, a lot of businesses are on WhatsApp. Wow. Like, that's how you contact the business. They come, like, you can order food. Like, we have the rapid test. You do the test before you fly out. So they come. They just come over.
They come to your house.
Yeah, they come outside. They give you the swab. And you get the results like 3 hours later through email. So easy.
Wow, because see, I had to find most of the places that I went to in the U.S. were closed. I had to get that COVID test before I got on the plane within 3 days. Of getting on the plane, and so most of the places were closed, and then I had to drive clear across town to find a place.
Really?
But to find out that they just show up to your house and get the test, and then 3 hours later you get your results, then you can go to the airport, get on the plane, and be on your way. This is for if you're flying out of the country, going back to the United States, not within Mexico. But so quality of life, man. I mean, I'm going to get the name of these apps. I'm going to be signing up for all sorts of things and ordering all sorts of stuff and just making it much easier for myself. So, man, I'm glad, man. Steph is working on a website. When it's done, she's going to give me the information. I'll come back and post it here on Facebook and on the website as well.
Yeah.
Anything else before we dip?
Oh yeah. So my business is the studio. The store is going to be called Self Care Studio, and I want to say that it's a wellness store, a shop.
Yeah, food.
So we'll be. I'll be providing healing modalities. I use. I'm trained in massage.
Okay.
It's called Marma Therapy, which is. It's a massage, like an Ayurvedic massage. So it's similar to acupressure.
Okay.
So it's like puncture without the needle. So I'm using my fingers. And I incorporate another method. It's called toxin, and it's used with the wooden, kind of like a mallet, and it's like
I've seen that.
So it's a Thai style massage.
Okay.
So I have the mallet and you go to the points. Mm-hmm. So it's supposed to help to increase your blood flow, to boost your circulation, also to remove like toxins from the bloodstream. So that's what causes a lot of problems with the, pain and inflammation. Yeah. So I'll be offering those healing techniques through the studio, and the way to book would be through Airbnb Experience. So I'll be sharing that with you once it's set up. Okay. Right now I'm just getting the store set up. The store, I've already got the storefront, and we're just getting that decorated and ready to go, get all the products put in the store. So I like to share organic, homeopathic, healing products, herbs, all that, because that's what I've been doing as I've been traveling, is gathering that information from different regions of the world, and especially in Asia. Yeah. Eastern medicine, they use like herbs for everything, especially in India. Wow. They literally just go to the tree and just pull out some leaves and just boil it, eat it. Really? Brush your teeth with the sticks of the tree. God. Like, they're like the ultimate doctors. Like, you go to India, you can cure everything. Like, you just go there, and then the doctors are so good there too. Really? Yeah, they don't give you medicines like they don't give you chemical medicines. Wow. They give you herbs for everything. Interesting. Or they just massage you. They give you they determine your body type, and then they know what to administer to you, what kind of treatment you need. So I'll be offering those type of treatments to help people to balance their physical, mental, and emotional states. Awesome. So it's just like a 3-part healing series, basically. And the products I'll offer will be I'm also going to be trying to sell them online too. Okay. So I'll be providing with all the information. Okay. So yes, it's coming. It's coming. I'm excited. So I'm really grateful and happy to share with people, and hopefully all of us come and we get our healing together. Yeah. We get rid of that old stale energy from where we're coming from, and we can look for be healthier and stuff.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Well, awesome. So there you have it, folks. If you have any questions, feel free, post them in the comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I think this information is very helpful, and I think it's going to encourage some people to jump out there. So
I'm happy to share what I learned, and if I would have known a lot of these things before, it would have made things a lot easier. But I'm happy for the journey. Exactly. I know a lot more than I did before.
You're right. And sometimes the fun is in the journey, man, and the heartache and all that. But it's the journey that made life complete and fun. So,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, the book is coming. The movie is coming.
She has some stuff for a movie and some books.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So she had me rolling today and the last time we met up. So some interesting stuff. I'm sure y'all will hear about it at some point soon in the future. So awesome. Well, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. Until next time, have a great day.